sir. I want you to go down to the basement and turn off the motor. We can't be safe with these two bastards running around. We're on it, sir.
Welcome back to Let's Play Manhunt. We've made it into the home of our nemesis, but it's crawling with his personal army and cameras to tell them exactly where we are at all times. So we're going to have to be extra careful, quick, and quiet to survive. Just kidding. We start off very near this basement area, and it's the most perfect kill room we could ever ask for. It's full of tools, and exactly what we need to lure a group of enemies over to these explosives. That propane was an accessory to murder. And the remainders were very easy to clean up afterwards. And that's 5 Cerberus down without taking a hit. Unfortunately, now we have to leave the comfort and safety of our basement. As soon as we cross that threshold, we're going to have to go on a killing spree as quickly as we can. Just brace myself a little bit. And run for it. That guy was guarding a rather nice library area. We do not have time to explore it. We're actually on a hidden time limit at the moment.
Copy that request for support. Hang in there, guys.
Killing a camera, or getting spotted by one like so, calls in a number of support troops. We've killed all the ones in the immediate area, so the ones who are approaching are coming from a very far distance away. Gonna take quite a while to get here. In the meantime, we get to explore a little bit, find out our surroundings, and approach the green arrow, which represents our target, the Cerberus leader.
Sir, one of the men is not responding. We have to move you somewhere more secure. I want that asshole's head on a spike, Sergeant. It will be a pleasure, sir. Escort him upstairs.
So that's the event triggered by our hidden time limit. And we kind of got pincered there by the backup. Now, we don't want the Cerberus leader to escape to his hidden location that he gets escorted to. That is extremely dangerous. Fortunately, as soon as he hears gunshots, he comes right for us. He is eager to take us out himself. Might just be his downfall. There he is. He's the only one with the clear mask. He's picked us up at the end of about half of our missions so far. For being such an asshole, I think he's earned a level 3 sickle execution. But he didn't quite get what he earned. Now that we've got his key, we are pretty much safe to go on a assault rifle rampage. It's really the best way to take care of this entire ground floor.
I think he's headed for the perimeter. He's on the move.
Doesn't really matter how much sound we make, because our assault rifle can pretty much take care of any number of enemies as they approach. Frankly, it's much more dangerous in our hands than the Uzi ever was, and the Cerberus aren't as good at using it as the SWAT were at using the Uzi. So really, this group is a lot easier to handle than the SWAT were. Now, over there is the personal guard of the Cerberus leader. That right there is the room he was staying in, with the pool table. And his 3 guards stay behind after he leaves. At which point, entering that room, or awaking them, will rain hell down upon you. That's actually the hardest part of pretty much the entire stage. cameras are frankly useless at this point. We really don't have to worry about them. We've handily conquered this ground floor, which is full of supplies, of course. And lots of wonderful decorations to check out. Now, as we cross into the hallway, that pretty much always summons a group of guards to come through this door. Here they come now.
I gotta check. Fugitive in my field of fire.
Unfortunately, there's still one back behind us that's going to complicate matters slightly. But he just had a handgun. And in going after him, we drew the rest of the guys out into our domain. So we're going to get a chance to play with them. Even if he sees this door is shaking around, he's not going to go investigate unless he actually sees cash. And unfortunately, they just muted the screams for that particular execution. I much prefer the re-recorded screams for the Cerberus. Another one down. But again, more coming from that room. Pretty much the exact same situation as last time. That room seems to have near infinite Cerberus in it. And it's unfortunate because that's where we need to go next.
Wilco, should be with you guys ASAP.
That camera's not really going to draw any of them out. I believe there are 8 painkiller pickups in this scene. Quite the opposite of the previous scene, in which there were none. So once again, round in that corner, has drawn out a group. Not much we can do, but burst through them. Some stray bullets knocked the glass out of that painting of a cat. Those paintings are strewn about the entire area, and we can use the broken glass from the frames to commit executions. So picking up the sickle is pretty much pointless, but I'm still glad that I did. The checkpoint at the bottom of the staircase there seems to indicate that we should be trying to use that staircase to progress to the second floor. However, it's very highly guarded. You'll be taking fire from every direction if you attempt that. And it's extremely risky, and ultimately, not even the correct thing to do. So you can sort of carefully pick them off one by one. But really what you want to do is head over here. Very easy to miss that little door. And out here you'll find things to be much calmer. The enemies from up the staircase will not come down to fight you. We could actually take this staircase up around to attack them from behind. But if we check our mission objective on the start menu, we have to head down to the basement in the west wing to turn the elevator back on. It's a little detail that was mentioned in the opening cutscene for this stage, but it's easy to forget. And this so happens to be the west wing. So this is exactly where we want to be. And it's another basement area. I especially like that re-recorded scream. Now, the guards are pretty plentiful, and this is a much larger area, so we can't exactly just take over it like we did the first basement. Not without a gun.
Any of you guys in my sector? Tango is in my vicinity.
Yep, the rifle is, without question, the correct way to approach this area.
Okay, talk me in.
That said, there are more opportunities for explosions. Now, one guard has taken up roost. He's not going to be moving for any reason. The other one, on his approach here, discovered the executed body. Sort of forgot where the broken glass sound was. So he will be entering the room, but he's not going where I wanted him. Now, if you notice, the guard in the other room ran straight to the blue dot as soon as he heard the gunshot. That room is behind this locked door here. Gotta shoot the lock off.
Okay, I got him. Engage, Omega. Engage. I'll keep you busy until you guys arrive.
And that guy will quickly go back to guarding whatever that blue dot represents. Now he's just gonna kind of quietly spin around in that room, so it's hard to tell exactly where he is. But with a little luck, you can still get him. Another sullen, quiet death. And there's the control panel. Elevator is back on. Now that has summoned quite a few guards. Maybe we can bring him down here. And get another explosion out of the deal. Though they are quite a bit further away than I had anticipated. It's surprising the distance they can hear that gunshot from.
There's something over here, for sure. We're chasing ghosts here.
So they're taking a guided tour through our corpse-strewn basement.
That you, 7? 10-4. Stay Delta. You better get over here, then.
And exploring exactly where we want them to. And it looks like...
Come on, let's get this.
Yes!
The box is in the coop.
My pointless side mission has been achieved. Time to blast our way out of here. There's painkillers behind that blue door that I just passed. And it is unfortunate that I did not take a detour to collect them. Back out to the stairwell area, with its distinctive triangular shape. Can't help but wonder what's at the top. For now, though, we're going to have to be very concerned about what's on the immediately above levels. It's very easy to get attacked from above or behind on the stairwell here. It can be quite a shock, which can lead to some unfortunate deaths. And anything above the second level is fenced off. Don't want us going up there. That was the first of their preventative measures. Going up against that wall is a horrible idea. There's someone attacking us from behind, then taking cover. So we're taking it from all sides, and that's not very survivable at half health. Fortunately, we tripped a checkpoint back here in the basement. There's a guy out here who still needs to be killed. That's the guy we strangled the first time through. Now, the absolute best thing to do is to not let the approaching guards ever get to the basement. I just wanted to have a bit of fun with them last time. But really, they quickly forget that the elevator has been turned back on. Don't bother to investigate all the way down to the basement. And we'll pretty much stay unalerted hereabouts on the staircase and on the second floor. Now, because we've given them no reason to explore downstairs, and we diligently cleared it out our first time through, they've had no particular reason to wrap around that way and come at us from behind. So you can pretty much bottleneck them here, corral them right where you want them, and mow them down. And we're back to the staircase that we didn't ascend previously, with its posted guards who will not move for any reason. Now we've gotten behind them. Good place to be. Now way across on the other side is a second and final guard.
There's the freak.
Took some hits getting rid of him, but it's all relatively okay. This is the head of security office. This is where the Cerberus leader will be ushered to if you let him escape. He'll be joined here by all of the guards on the second floor. You'll be facing about a half dozen total machine guns pointed at your head, should you let the Cerberus leader get there. It's basically suicidal. But if not, you get rewarded with a bunch of bullets when you get in there, and a painkiller pickup. You can also knock out the security cameras from the other room, but there's no real point to it. And everyone's dead anyway. So let's move on. So that was our penultimate scene of Manhunt, rampaging through the director's home, slaughtering his personal Cerberus guards as their attention is split between us and Pigsy. I would describe that scene as a playground of chaos and horrors. There's really enough supplies and opponents that you can effectively do whatever you feel like. If you want to explode people, just lure them down to the room that has bombs. If you want to execute them, there's countless executables lying around. And of course, if you want to shoot them, more power to you. Obviously, the feeling of overwhelming power can easily be turned against you, and you can very quickly die. But the risk is always worth the reward. It serves as quite a fitting prelude to the conclusion of Manhunt. After a grueling and blood-soaked journey, we're finally within arm's reach of the one person responsible for our manhunt, Lionel Starkweather. The details written here on his concept art seem to be full of scrapped ideas, so none of the specifics are necessarily canon, but he was most likely a respected filmmaker in Hollywood, or as San Andreas calls it, Vinewood, who took his wealth and relocated to the other side of the country, either out of some disgrace engineered by a conspiracy of Hollywood elites, or just to seek a new career in snuff. If an engineered fall from grace is truly his motive, then he seems to have dealt with the conspirators by giving them starring roles in his secret stash of snuff films, just to quell his urge to rant about them while filming his bread and butter manhunt videos. All we really know about him is what he's done to cash and where that has landed him, cornered in his own opulent mansion, with no one left to save him from the consequences of his actions. So let's move on to the killer he's named for, a young man named Charles Starkweather. Charles was a poor, struggling teen in Lincoln, Nebraska, with a bad temper and a growing sense of nihilism, who was kicked out of his parents' house when his 13-year-old girlfriend, Carol Ann Fugate, crashed his father's car. In November of 1957, less than a week after his 19th birthday, Charles robbed and killed an attendant at a local gas station, confessing the robbery to Carol but denying the murder. In January of the following year, when Carol's family told him to stay away from her, he murdered them in their home, which he and Carol then occupied for 6 days before her extended family grew worried and called the police. For the 3 ensuing days, they hopped from town to town together, killing a friend of Carol's family, a pair of teenagers who stopped to pick them up, an affluent couple and their maid, and a traveling salesman asleep in his car. They stole the salesman's car and stalled it out on the side of the highway, prompting a good Samaritan to pull over and offer assistance, but Starkweather pulled a gun on him just as a deputy sheriff arrived. Fugate turned Starkweather in to the sheriff as she begged him for help, so Starkweather fled alone on a high-speed chase that culminated in his surrender. Starkweather would go on to accuse Fugate of murdering the female victims of their spree, all of whom had been stabbed repeatedly, unlike the male victims who he confessed to killing. Ultimately, though, Charles Starkweather was deemed guilty of every murder, for which he was executed in 1959 at the age of 20. But Fugate was tried as a willing participant and received a life sentence, serving 17.5 years in prison. Their killings went on to inspire a great deal of popular culture, including the film Natural Born Killers, whose Starkweather analog, played by Woody Harrelson, is said to be the basis for James Earl Cash's design. This would be fitting, as Cash and Starkweather share responsibility for all of Manhunt's killings, and all for the amusement of a bloodthirsty audience.